It's empty. We're gonna hit hard. Grab a hold of anything you can.
The Wall Street Journal's film critic Joe Morgenstern, he is not particularly prone to hyperbole, but this week he offers us this. In the history of motion pictures, and I quote Joe, "There's never been one like Gravity." The new film starring Sandra Bullock and George Clooney all but alters the very nation of motion itself. And here to explain what he means is the man himself, Joe Morgenstern. Hey, Joe.
And you call that hyperbole?
In the most fondest way, because it's your birthday today and you're allowed to use a little hyperbole on your birthday.
I call it respectful understatement.
There you go. That is why you are the critic. So this movie, Joe, it is set in space. Many movies are set in space. So how have they managed to wow your seen everything critic's eyes?
Well, exactly. I've been at this a long time, and I can very seldom say that I've seen something new. When I saw the film for the first time, I saw it at Telluride, and I was overwhelmed, and I was also kind of squeezed for space, newspaper space, and writing about a movie with all the space in the world. So I said it's the most beautiful popcorn movie ever made. I saw it again a couple of weeks ago at Dolby Laboratories because the sound is so wonderful, and began sorting a lot of it out. And, you know, when I sat down to write the review, I was tempted to include a paragraph. I actually wrote the paragraph and then thought better of it, saying basically all you need to know about Gravity is that you don't need to know anything about Gravity before you see it. Go see it, and then come back and read the review. So, you know, you and I can do the same thing here. We can shut down right now and send everybody out to see it, or if you'd like to talk more, I'm available.
I want to talk a little bit actually about Sandra Bullock. She's one of my favorite actors, and you call this the best performance of her career. So I'm wondering, what will I see in her that I haven't seen before, Joe?
You'll see maturity and yet all the same things that we have admired and enjoyed about her in the past. In the review, I talk about her spunkiness in Speed, which was exactly 2 decades ago. She's not spunky anymore. She's got a deep spirit, and she's a mature woman who at the same time is youthful. I mean, she's quite remarkably youthful in this film, but she's got a role that calls upon her to reach back and use all the very considerable resources that she has as an actress, because this is basically a movie about survival.
And
let me see if I can turn that
must be
phone
Sandra.
ringer off.
Sandra's
It's
calling
Sandra. I can't talk to you now. I'm just
busy. It's either Sandra or George Clooney. George Clooney is her co-star in the movie, Joe, and both of them, you know, they both have a very intense physicality about them. I mean, you think of Sandra in Miss Congeniality and in Speed, you know, she's using her body. George Clooney, very handsome, charismatic guy. They're both encased in these spacewalk suits the entire film. So how do they have to sort of overcome that for you to still sort of enjoy that piece of their acting?
Well, luckily, one of them, and guess which one, is not encased in a spacesuit for the whole thing. The movie is so ingenious. It begins, as I say, as a preposterous survival story, because after all, how can anyone survive in space when the space shuttle has been blown away and there seem to be no resources for getting back? There is a way. She doesn't drift off like Voyager 1 outside the solar system. But there's, in what is basically a very simple action story, there are so many variations and so many environments to explore, all of them, of course, in zero gravity, which has allowed the filmmaker, Alfonso Cuarón, to do something that's never been done before. As I said, it's a new kind of motion in motion pictures. He has used all of the resources available to him, big studio resources, expensive resources, to do this gorgeous ballet. The camera moves and twirls. Sandra Bullock moves and spins and twirls, and Clooney does too. it's like a long dream sequence, except it's not a long picture. It's only 90 minutes.
90 minutes. All right, Joe. I am sold. I am going to go see it, and I'm going to actually let you get back. All of Hollywood calling you to wish you happy birthday. Let us add our happy birthday wishes to you here at the Wall Street Journal. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much. Bye.